Perfect. We're live. Hi, happy Wednesday. We've made the chat font bigger. It's massive. I think I like it. Hi, Martin. How are you?
Good, thank you, Lorna. I am. I'm quite hot actually, which is why I've got the window open because the air conditioning is a little bit too rough on the old throat. So if you hear the sounds of Slovakian streets and sirens, then I can obviously close it and use technology to cool myself.
Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. I wouldn't want you to have to breathe in aircon. That might be a bit. I know what you mean about breathing it in. Okay, we have actual humans in our chat, which is kind of amazing. So I'm gonna say hi to Mark. Howdy. All right, howdy to Mark. One of those humans is you. I've said hello to you. Morning, Frackberg. We've got Lauren here as well. Hello. Hi. It's all good. Daniela's here. Deb's here. Basically, all the important people have already arrived, and I feel like we're all set. So, I am having kind of a weird Wednesday. If is anyone else having a weird Wednesday? I would love to hear about that in chat. Martin, are you having a weird Wednesday?
I wouldn't say that it's especially weird so far. I spent the morning playing games with the rest of our team, which isn't weird. It's nice to do, and so far it's been okay. It could get weirder. There's still plenty of time.
Well, I may be able to provide you with a little bit of weirder. We'll see how that works out. Roland's here as well. Hi, Roland. I found the games a little bit weird. I think it's just such a big change to my day-to-day. And I was also trying to write code at the same time, which is never... I'm just nothing like as good at multitasking as I think I am. And that's...
Even harder to multitask writing code when trying to participate in solving an Egyptian murder mystery game.
Yes.
That's a challenge.
Yes.
That's a challenge in itself.
It was, challenge is the word. No one else is confessing to a weird Wednesday. Lauren's saying wacky Wednesday. Hopefully, Lauren, you haven't had too much time for it to be too weird, because I think it's still quite early where you are. Roland says weird 2020. No kidding. Yes, this is my weird year. I'm hoping this is the weirdest year I ever lived through. That's my ambition.
Mine too.
Yeah, I think we should do that. So, everybody welcome to Developer Drop-In. This is where we aim to be derailed by good questions in the chat. I have stuff that I would love to talk to Martin about if no one wants to derail us. And that's kind of my tentative plan. He's here, he's captive for me to talk to. And I think we have some shared interest, Martin, because I have scheduled for this scene, for this week, I would love us to talk a little bit about Messages API. Now, I know this is your sort of thing, so do you want to introduce the Messages API?
Yeah, sure. So the Messages API is an API that we have that's close to my heart, I think, because I worked on it when it was released into beta about 18 months ago, and it was one of the first APIs that I got to play with that actually unified communication through multiple channels. Mm-hmm. So being able to send messages with WhatsApp, being able to send messages with Viber, being able to send messages with Facebook Messenger, also being able to send SMS and MMS as well if you're in the United States. And I hadn't ever come across an API up to that point that allowed you to do that, let alone could do it with one singular interface for the API itself. So, normally you'd have to go through and write a bunch of different integrations if you wanted to use those services inside your application. But with the Messages API, you don't have to. You just integrate the Messages API and decide which messaging platform you're going to use. And regardless of which one you do, the syntax for the objects that you're sending and how you interact with it is pretty much the same or relatively similar. And that was a really exciting project to work on. So in its beta inception, I was spending a lot of time writing blog posts and tutorials about how to use it. That was 18 months ago, though, and it has grown up a little bit since that point. But I still love it. It's one of my favorites. And that's what we're going to do a little bit of playing around with today.
Yeah, so it's one of my favorites too, and exactly for those reasons. For anyone who's ever built an app that can notify over SMS or WhatsApp or Facebook, and then tried to make that go into some sort of coherent code flow, the single integration, and we will have more channels in the future. We're just not allowed to make promises about which channels they are. We have product people in the chat. You can shout which ones you need. I feel like every week someone asks me when we're getting Telegram, so you should ask that question this week. Then it's such a gift, and it's one of our really new modern APIs, but it solves a problem that I feel like I understand. So yeah, it's definitely, we shouldn't have favorites, but
it's okay to have favorites.
Yeah, if I did this, maybe it's in second place because I love Verify API, which I'm also the product expert for. So yeah, I think we've got some good stuff that I want to show you. So I'm going to tell you a story. I found an application the other day which had been hanging about for a while, and I know it has because it's based on Laravel 5 and it has Dependabot alerts on GitHub for it. And it was a nice tutorial that Phil wrote a while back for Laravel News. So if you don't know Laravel News, it's a great site with content about Laravel, but about other geeky stuff as well. And I've been updating that to Laravel 7, which is great, but I really wish that it did something that wasn't SMS. So I would like to propose it as our victim today, as something to work on. Now, do you want to drive, or shall I do that?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. I am going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to find what I was working on, which is in the GitHub community. It's called like Laravel SMS. There we go, because it's Laravel, it sends SMS. Brilliant. Thank you, GitHub. This is a wonderful time to recover my account settings. Thank you so much. Okay. No. Not change password. Just show me the thing I was trying to look at.
No, GitHub, this is not the time.
Ah, okay. So I couldn't log in on my phone earlier, and I just didn't worry about it. I mean, I'm obviously logged in.
Yeah, that's you right there.
Fix this later. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm just looking if it's going to be here in my... Oh no, look.
There it is.
Next Mode Community. Laravel SMS. Found it. Gosh, that was torturous. Okay, so the main thing, I'm going to put this link in... Lauren says passwords. Yeah, it was just password boxes though, Lauren. I haven't linked my keys yet. I think my chances today are reasonably high, actually, because I want to show you the Messages Sandbox, but it has these really helpful code snippets in the dashboard, and so I think it's likely that my password's gonna feature today. We'll see how we get on. The night is young. Thanks, Laura.
It's like par for the course, but it's fine. It's fine.
Right,
that's what quality refresh tokens buttons are about.
Yeah, we can programmatically rotate our secrets, and I only do it when I leak on stream.
It's good practice to do that. Practice. If the trigger is because you leaked it on stream, what does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Does it really matter?
Because I should be rotating. Oh, and I rotated it a couple of weeks ago because my account was empty of credit and I wasn't sure why. Actually, I had done something wrong, and I had some help to understand what I did. But it was still hilarious. Okay, so I've put the link to this GitHub project in the chat, but I'm on the Laravel 7 branch. So you should flip between branches if you want to follow along at home. Oh, also, if you want to follow along at home, I will paste you the sign up link. So if you want to sign up for Vonage, if you don't already have a Vonage API account, sign up there and then look in the middle of this screen at the bottom, whichever corner that is, this corner, and get the code and apply that to your account as well. It'll give you a little bit of credit to play with. Excellent.
Little freebies.
Yeah, well, I just think, it's not loads of credit, but if it's a lot of WhatsApp messages, really. You can really prototype with if you just top up with one of these coupons. That's like a bit of play money. I like it.
Yeah.
So
play
perfect.
money.
Play
I've
money.
never heard it described like that before. That's what we should call it from now on.
So we're going to open a product request to rename the coupon code to play money. That's the story.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I have this cloned locally, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is just run it and show it you what it does at the moment, and then we'll start performing surgery. So it's a Laravel project, so if I can focus my terminal between all these other windows. No, that's a different terminal. Okay, good. So it's an artisan job, PHP artisan serve, to serve a Laravel project. So it comes up and it tells me, hello, I'm here, I'm on port 8000. So let us visit port 8000. If you are in the chat and any of this isn't big enough, including if it's not big enough because you're watching on mobile, let me know. I'll turn up the font size. It's absolutely not a problem. Okay, so here is the home page. The only other thing it does is message or messages, maybe message, and it loads a form, and then I can put my number into the form. Hold on while I unlock the phone, which I'll need in a minute. Okay. Right, where was I? Put the number into the form. Got it. Number. Oh, I can't type it on a layout like this. Oh, it's auto-completing for me. Perfect. Yeah, that one. I don't have the number pad on this keyboard. I'm really confused. All right. So it sends a message, and if we go over and check on my phone, hopefully something will happen. There we go. A message, as if by magic. A text message arrived. And oh, I think I just misclicked a notification there. Then here is the hello. And some other test things that I've sent from the same test number that are all now visible on the screen, because that's how my day is working out. Okay.
It's good. It's consistent.
Yeah. Well, it would cost I would need a lot of top-up coupons if I bought a new number for every project. So like the numbers tend to have a life moving around between all different stuff that I'm working on. So
I struggle to remember what I've connected my numbers to, and then should I admit this? I will. I'm sometimes too lazy to look, so I just buy another to do that. So it's nice to see that you're following these best practices.
I can explain to you how this all works if you want. I think we've got some tools.
Yeah, do it.
So the way that I check on mine, let's just get rid of my long thing, is I do Nexmo. So this is the Nexmo CLI. You can install it with NPM. And it's under tools if you look on the developer portal. So if you do Nexmo number list, but then if you do this with all the verbose switches, then stuff happens. So the left hand column is all the numbers that I have, and then you can sort of see the different countries that I've got, which right now is just UK and then one US one, but sometimes I have different ones here depending what I'm testing. And then you can see if they're hooked up to either, so MO, HTTP URL is for mobile originated messaging, so that's incoming SMS. If there's voice callback type and value, then I'm using it for a voice app. So yeah, you can see I've got a few different things going on. I just pick from the list. There's like one where the number's been used publicly for that fortune cookies thing that we made ages ago. But apart from that, everything else just gets reused, and I just pick numbers that I like. And you can see I like repeating numbers. You can kind of tell that.
It's memorable. It's memorable. -VVV is the magic that I've been missing all this time.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Right, we're only like 15 minutes in. I have genuinely done a learning already.
Woo! It doesn't matter what else happens, right? We've achieved our goals.
Superb. Now I have to use the same number for multiple demos because I know how to find out what numbers are what.
Yeah, the advantage is I have like 10 or 12 numbers here. I can actually see it in a single screen.
Yep.
So yeah, because I did have loads, and it just got. First of all, I was always running out of credit from paying for all those numbers that I wasn't using, which was silly, and also the list becomes unmanageable. So, yeah. Awesome.
I feel like in the future, no, I feel like I'm just derailing the whole thing anyway. I feel like in the future, if we can add to that CLI a prune flag that just decides based off of certain inputs, like to get rid of numbers that haven't been used in a certain amount of time, I would use that.
Yes, I don't think it has like a last updated flag on it, but I mean, the other thing is if you cancel a number, you can buy it back within 30 days. So I often just cancel on the basis that it'll still show up in my search. I can grab it if I want to. Mark's saying it looks like he'll be getting in touch with support because he can't seem to log in. Did you not already have an account, Mark? Or is it tied to a different email address? Do email support. Do email support, they're good. And then jot down the coupon. You can add it when you're ready.
Yeah. That's
the plan. Okay, this was a really good tangent. I compliment you on your tangent.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see if I can find my terminal again now. Here we go. Okay. So we're serving. It sends an SMS. You've seen the SMS on the phone. That's all good. But I wish it didn't send SMS. I wish it could WhatsApp me instead. And if it would WhatsApp, then I would have the option to SMS as well.
Yep.
So I am gonna go and where am I going with this? I'm gonna go and look up some stuff for Messages API, and for this I need to log into the dashboard. The dashboard logs me out every 5 minutes. It's not 5 minutes, but it feels like it. It's 20 minutes, something like that. So hang on while I locate the password for this.
It's another password opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, once it's in my clipboard, I feel like anything's possible. Could show up anywhere, anytime.
The closer to Control V it is, the more opportunity there is.
We were unable to sign into the dashboard account. Oh, that was exciting.
Oh, it's not that one.
I was signed in quite recently. All right, okay.
There it is.
Fantastic. We're in. We made it. Cool. So, send a WhatsApp message. That's what I want to do. I want to do it from code. But, okay, Lauren is rescuing Mark from logging in. Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. This is the Messages API Sandbox. So, why do I need a Messages API Sandbox?
Oh, you're asking?
Well, so the way this works, right, is both of us are on the screen, and then I talk, and then you talk, and we sort of take turns. It's like a conversation, if you like.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm with you.
Okay.
And so the Messages API Sandbox was relatively recently released, and it's a way of being able to help developers to build the kind of thing that Lorna's going to put together right now, without needing to go through some of the processes that are required for you to actually work with the WhatsApp APIs or the Viber APIs. Both of those companies require, for production use, that you have more of an account set up with them. There's a process that you have to go through in order to do that. And it's not the best experience if you want to just figure out what you're going to be building and how it's going to work. So we created the API Sandbox to basically give everybody the opportunity to work with WhatsApp, Viber, and Facebook without needing to go through a more protracted process. So you find it inside the dashboard here, and effectively what you do is start off by sending a message from your WhatsApp enabled device to the number that you can see there that Lorna's highlighted, with a passphrase which is unique to you, and then it will effectively connect your account with the number that you sent it from, which will then allow you to send messages to and from a device that has that number and has WhatsApp installed on it. Same for Viber. Facebook Messenger works a little differently, but we won't go over that today. And from here, you effectively set up which devices you're going to use with either of these services. And today it's going to be WhatsApp. So I assume, Lorna, that you did this already, and the one user that you have whitelisted is the phone that you're going to be using.
Yeah, indeed. And I'm going to paste that whole thing in the chat in case anyone does want to play along at home. I am going to open up the... and I'm going to need an Ngrok endpoint, so this is going to be public at some point anyway. So if anyone wants to play along, then that's the whole instruction. Send those words to that. I've already done that, so I'm already whitelisted. I quite like this with the ability to scan the QR code. That's quite a nice quick start as well.
Yep.
I'm WhatsApping to this number all the time. So I tend to just send the words. In fact, I think the words probably autocomplete in the WhatsApp app at this point, because if you use other people's demos, or I have more than one key, then you can be swapping your device across between. But it's quite easy to do, which is handy. So we've got some webhook stuff. So a place for incoming webhooks and a place for status webhooks. At this point, I am going to spin up an Ngrok Tunnel to that local server that I'm running here on port 8000, because I want those things to come in. They're not going to hit anything useful initially, but well, we could write some quick endpoints for those. But Ngrok, it's an HTTP tunnel. It's going to link to port 8000. Excellent. I'm going to copy this URL. If you're not familiar with Ngrok or you have any questions, this is a great time to ask us. I'm conscious that I explain it most weeks, but that doesn't mean that I don't love it and don't want to talk about it anymore. So you should indicate if you would like the explanation.
The love never dissipates.
No, and Ngrok's such a great tool, right? So,
I mean, how lost would we be without it, really? Like, given the amount of webhook work that has to take place in any given week.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, I think before this we'd have been pushing code up to servers on every iteration. Oh, life's too short. Okay, so I have called those /webhooks/inbound and /webhooks/status. So I hope you're all taking notes, because I might not remember that in 5 minutes.
I've got them.
I trust you to be supervisory.
I will even write them down in my book.
You're such a good student. Mark says, you spent so much time testing stuff with Ngrok. It really is invaluable. It really is. And especially in the kind of context that we have with the Vonage APIs, which have a lot of two-way messaging. Being able to get both the incoming messages and also you see the status endpoint. I'm going to get the delivered and read webhooks to that as well. So we're going to be able to build a bunch of stuff, just depending how the day shapes up. Alex is here. Hi, Alex. Long time no see. Looks like you can only be connected to one sandbox at a time. Yes, you can only be connected to one sandbox at a time, but you just send the 3 words and it flips you over to the other one. I got really frustrated with this when I was building more than one WhatsApp app in the same week, and it's just the 3 words and then you're in. So I think the way that this has been implemented actually works pretty well. I'm happy with it. Anytime you want to go back to your sandbox, Alex, you just need to send your 3 words. He says he wasn't going to miss some of his favourite people streaming together. There we are. I may have let him know you were on my stream this week, Martin.
That's nice. Thank you, Alex.
Awesome. Okay, so this code sample is in curl, which isn't really what I wanted. Because what I have got is not curl. But let's have a look at what I do have, which is, I wonder where the code for this is. Probably roots. Yes, here we go. What I have is this, which sends the SMS.
Yep.
So I want to replace this with something that can talk to the Messages API. I'm still going to use Guzzle, which is what I've got here because I think it's fantastic. And I'm going to steal a winning combination of stuff from the curl example and from the API documentation.
Excellent.
That's my plan. So let's start with, I want the sandbox URL, which is different to the main API URL.
That's definitely one of the main things to note, that when routing stuff through the sandbox, the URL that you use effectively for the API endpoint is different to all of our other ones. So looking here for this code first is definitely the best way to do it. I've tripped up on that, and I know other people have as well, that they've gone through, tried to do an implementation, and actually the only thing that isn't right is that URL.
That's sort of why I started here. But I'm pretty sure I've got it wrong in the past as well. Oh, I'm writing the content type for Guzzle, but maybe Guzzle has built-in stuff for this. Let's read the Guzzle docs as well as the Messages API docs, and doubtless at some point the Laravel docs. Luckily, I've chosen projects that all have really reasonably good docs. This shouldn't be too painful. Okay, request options. I need to send some JSON, actually. Is there like a pre-canned JSON option? Yes. Ha ha ha. Okay, so I'm just going to send JSON that, and it's going to set my headers and everything. Brilliant.
Perfect.
That's what I want. I'm just going to assemble all that and pass it as the JSON. So I don't need to worry about those headers. I do need to worry about my auth header though. Authorization with a Z. Hold on, this is not PHP notation. This is some other language. I don't know what language that was. It wasn't the one I needed. Now, let's have a look at the Messages Sandbox. Is this big enough? Okay. I made it. I'm not sure that helped. I made it bigger. It seemed to make the sides bigger. So the header is... Oh, it's a -u. Let's have a look at the API docs for this. So I'm just going to start on developer.nextmo.com, and if I scroll down to the messages and dispatch, there's an API reference link there. Here is what I need. Authentication. Do this, or you can send a basic, the word basic, and then your API key and secret joined by a colon, base64 encoded. Clear as mud. All right. So I think I should have put this somewhere else, but I'm just gonna persevere. Basic space and then a base64 encode. Oh, hopefully this thing knows. Oh, I'm taking the syntax highlight change as being I have correctly guessed the function name in PHP.
That's right. That's the color of win.
Yeah, the color of win. I like that. It's catchy. And I've got my API key and secret here in environment variables that you can see further up from the SMS example that was earlier. If you're cloning the repo and using this, if you copy the .env.example file over to .env, then you'll see these variables added at the bottom for you to prompt you to add your own credentials. So then this stuff will work. Nextmo API key. Then, no, it's not plus. What language is this? The people who know me as a PHP person are laughing now. It's PHP that concatenates with dot, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Your plus is...
I never understood why that was annoying, and now I write loads of other languages. It's incredibly annoying.
Have you been doing some JavaScript recently?
A bit of JavaScript, bit of Golang, bit of Python. So you can understand why I'm confused.
Could be so many of them.
Well, this is the language with the other concat. That's what I need to remember. Okay, this doesn't look quite right. I think headers itself should be an array. It would be better if I laid it out better, really. Let's put this on a new line. And then this might have to just live like it is. And then I need another closing bracket. What did we do without bracket matching? I do not know.
A lot of up and down arrow key is what we did before bracket matching.
But even just this visual matching, is I'm not even jumping between them. It shows me this one goes with this one goes with this one. I don't know what you're doing there with this other one. Okay. All right, so I think that's the header bodged in the middle of the request for no really good reason. And I'm going to, in fact, let's just move. I'm going to move this headers array out because I might want to do something else with it. Let's put it up here. Let's have parameters, let's have headers. Because I noticed that the example has an accept. And we might need that as well, I'm not sure. So let's make, Don't know what button that was, but never mind. So let's make this the headers. Let me know if my audible bell is annoying on stream. Martin probably can't hear it, but I think it might be on the stream. This is the one with the dollar signs. I remember this language. Okay.
It's all comes flooding back.
It is like that. I'm like, this is the one with I mean, this one's got a selection of good things with the dollar signs, the semicolons, the really interesting array notation. Mark says he's just coming back to PHP.
I feel like all the syntax that's going to be needed here is already on the screen somewhere. It's just a matter of finding it.
Yes, I like to refer to that as all the right notes, not necessarily in the right order.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm making some music.
Moving the headers into its own param already is like you're cleaning up code already. So I
can't read it. We're never going to debug this if I leave that. Okay, so now I am going to build some parameters and I'm going to send them as JSON, but basically nothing is the same. So let's have a look at how this should look. Send a message to type ID number from type. Oh, I see. ID or number message. Do you know, we might just read the curl example again. Hold on. Because the curl example has only the WhatsApp stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sending from type WhatsApp to type WhatsApp a message with content and type text and text. I feel like this is achievable. So I'm going to reconstruct that as some sort of thing.
So I will pull up that curl example on my screen. So if you need to re-reference it without changing the screen, you
can just speak. And I will try to get this right. Okay, so I know that 2 has a type which is going to be WhatsApp, like this.
Yes.
And then is the other one number? That would make sense.
It is, yeah.
All right. Okay. So I've got a whole 2 param. Let's add a from.
Got a 2 param.
Type.
From param. Same situation.
But it has to be from that WhatsApp number, which will be hanging about in my copy-paste buffer. Does it look like that? Ends in 170?
It does. You need to put some quotes around it, but
I feel like we have the technology, and that plus sign is a bit stray. That's better.
That's the one.
Now, it's not text. Text is inside something? Inside message?
Yeah. Message. Yeah. And a message has content. And content has a type and a text.
Type. And I know this is... So the type is text, and then the text is the text.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Because you can also send images and some other media types as well. So it's just to differentiate. You can also do multiple within the same message.
Okay. So let's try sending that with headers, and JSON params. And I think I'm going to log the response. That's fine, but I need to be able to see the log. So let's start tailing the log as well. So for Laravel, by default, this is like a straight out the box Laravel 7. Thank you, Laravel, for being such an amazing rapid application development framework. It's in storage logs, laravel.logs. I'm just going to tail that. So that's the previous SMS example that we did. Let's just have a look at this. So we've got, I don't need to log my API key. I'm setting the URL, I'm setting the parameters, I'm setting the headers, we're making this request, we're logging the body, and we're showing thanks. Some other requests are going to hit us here, and we'll see those through Ngrok, so we might get some errors in our logs. as the webhooks come back to us because I don't have any code to handle those. But I don't think the sandbox retries, so we can fix that in a minute. I don't want to bite off too much at once. So let's just see what happens. Are you feeling confident?
I am actually. Confidence in your params.
Awesome. All right, so let's hit that same phone number again. Let me just try and get my phone on screen. Okay. Gonna send the query. Oh, use of undefined constant. Assumed whatever. It probably still worked. No? Okay, fair enough.
Maybe.
I mean, valid. This has always been... PHP has always been like, I assume you meant the string. But it normally just still works. Yeah, I mean, I probably did mean the string. Fine.
I'm a big fan of languages that just make assumptions for you.
Well,
It's like...
now I write more Go, you'd think I would be more comfortable with languages just telling me to get a grip. I love how much Go like just falls over at build time. It's like you don't even run it. You never have hope. You like try and save the file and it's instantly like, no, try this, try that, like, try the other. What's this?
Each run in Go is like that final brick in Jenga that it's just gonna, the whole thing comes crashing down.
Well, it sent me the thanks, so let's keep an eye on the phone.
It's done a thing.
Well, that was an anticlimax. I might have some webhooks though. Let's
see what came back.
Yeah, so where's my log? Oh, I got some inbound and status stuff, so something happened.
Yeah, okay.
I got a message UUID.
Which is usually a good sign.
Just didn't seem to hit my phone. Oh, that's weird.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of errors here because I didn't handle those requests that came into, this is Ngrok. You see the requests that came in, I'm not handling those. So I'm just gonna have a quick look at the Ngrok dashboard to see what arrived, because if I did something wrong, it might tell me. So this is the localhost Ngrok dashboard.
This is also one of the other hidden gems of Ngrok, if people haven't seen it before, is the inspector for the requests that come in that effectively gives you everything that you need to know, and also the ability to replay them as well, which is super handy.
See large blue replay button.
Yes. Rejected. Sent outside allowed window.
I think I should have messaged to whitelist again today.
That would be a good place to start.
Let's try debugging that, because I don't think you can just go back to people when you haven't talked to them for a while. It's not actually auto-completing, but I think it is join said case. Is it? Did I make that up? I was already whitelisted. I mean, I can un-whitelist and re-whitelist. Let's just have a quick look at that dashboard.
Yeah.
I have 2 users.
Oh.
That's fine,
okay.
Because Alex said he listed as well. I wonder if I would need to... I don't know. Shall I just try it again now I've talked to it?
Try it again now you've spoken to it again, because it may have just refreshed the token.
Yeah, that's kind of my expected. So, yeah, you see it sent me the message. So it knows that it's had a transaction with that phone number. I am literally going to refresh this page. And I'm going to refresh the... Oh, hold on. I'm going to refresh the sum... Oh, I don't know what I did there.
Going to refresh one of them.
Well, I refreshed something. It wasn't what I had in mind, though. I do this for a living, honest. Messages. There it is. Let's try that. Hey!
Yes.
And you hear it. I've got the sound off the phone looped through. I'm trying to show the phone to the camera. No, that's the whole point. It's on screen share, look. So that's awesome. Whoop.
Superb.
And
And
I
that's good
learned
to know,
something.
actually. You probably just need to go back and chat with the sandbox every now and then to get it to remember who you are. Um, that's great. That's great. So, what do you want to do next? Is it time to implement some webhook action?
Yeah, I think we definitely should, because I can see there's webhooks coming in on Ngrok, but they're just getting 404s. And I would love to at least write this stuff to the logs. And for an inbound message, I mean, we could even reply to that if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Let's start by doing the easy one and just logging status, because I feel, then if you were using this application not through Ngrok, you would be able to have some insight into what's actually happening. So the root is /webhooks/status.
Yeah. And status actually gets hit a couple of times as opposed to just once, because it reports back every event interaction that the receiving user has with the message that gets sent. So when it's actually been sent, when it's been delivered, if it's been rejected, when they read it, there's a couple of different statuses that come through there. And actually, depending on how in depth you want to get with what you build with it, you can do some really interesting stuff with those statuses, because actually knowing whether or not a message has been read can be really useful in figuring out whether or not you send it again, or in terms of one of our other APIs, the dispatch API, is actually used as a determining factor as to whether you fail over from one message type to another message type. For instance, if someone maybe has run out of data, they might still be able to receive a standard SMS text message, and therefore you could fail over from one to the other. And it uses those status types in order to figure out when to do that.
Yeah, that stuff's really valuable as well if I'm traveling. Not that we do that anymore, but remember when we used to sometimes go on those airplane things?
Remember when it was a thing?
I do remember when it was a thing. I've seen you in a wide selection of other countries, and that's just not a thing now. I don't always have data, depending where I am or what it costs or why I'm there. So stuff that falls back to SMS because I clearly didn't pick up my thing, I find really valuable. And just being able to have that awareness of your customer is something that I really, really like about this, and that we've used it for more than just the dispatch rules. So I could add my own logic into this application for retry, for example, if I wanted to.
Yeah, it works really well, especially if you're building bots. With this stuff as well. They don't have any kind of intelligence. There is no human on the other end, right? They need to be told exactly what to do, but there are elements of, I don't know, decorum, I guess, that you can add to what you build, especially if it is a bot, using some of these statuses, because it can really give it more of a human-like behavior in terms of how and when it responds to people, or how pushy it is, depending on what your bot does.
I love that you put bot and decorum in the same sentence there. That's there should be, all bots should have more decorum.
That's right. Welcome to my dystopian future.
I know. Listen, I am down for this. It sounds great. Awesome. So I'm not exactly sure how to get the JSON back, but it's fine because I can just replay the webhooks through Ngrok as many times as I want. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to replay probably this one, which is sending me, it's delivered. Okay, so let's send that again. Replay.
Okay.
419, unknown status. This is, any Laravel users in chat? This is Laravel CSRF protection. Things, stuff, request, what's it? Laravel, disable, it's the first thing, CSRF. Not before even disable cache. We've got disable CSRF. This must be a problem. Okay. Also, Laravel users in chat. Is there a reason? Would this have been better as an API route because it's not webby? I would love. I had no idea why those were two separate things, and I would love to know what the advantages are, and to hear more about that. You can disable. They do not explain how it should look. No, I'm a bit confused as well. Extends middleware, protected except. I would like to just be like, no, forget it. It's not good to
Yeah.
disable it. No, but it's not I would never disable CSRF if it was incoming data from a website, but this cannot have a CSRF. That is not a thing.
Yes. But I think, yeah, you and I were both hoping for some kind of true-false flag.
Like, yes, I know. I promise I know what I'm doing. Yes, really. .true. Is what I was hoping. If you want to disable it entirely, I don't think I want to disable it entirely. That seems like a terrible example to set. But it could be here in the middleware, you can add an except. Let's see if we can find that. App HTTP middleware verify CSRF token. All right. App HTTP. I'm already confused. Middleware verify CSRF token.
Verify CSRF. Yes. And
all right, cool. And let me just go back to Stack Overflow and look at an example. Again. I was just there. It is. So it's literally just the root. The URLs that should be excluded from CSRF verification. Can I put? Oh, does anyone know if I can put a webhook, a wildcard here? It's because I tried to type webhooks and say wildcards. Webhooks. Status. Like that? Perhaps? Well, let's just press replay again and see what happens. I feel like if I was doing this badly wrong, the chat would be straight in there.
I mean, you already prefaced it with, like, there you go, see?
Whoop.
You already prefaced it with, this is not for production. This is for example purposes.
Yeah, probably don't deploy this, but if you want to copy and paste the WhatsApp piece into your own proper Laravel application, then that would be a great use case, right?
Well, and there's another learning as well, right? How do you do, root level disabling of the CSRF token like that? I'm
going to add webhooks inbound while I'm looking at this file, because it's going to have exactly the same problem.
Yep.
So just while I'm still holding this thought before it escapes, I'm just going to go for that. Okay, right. So I think I logged some stuff. Let's check the log. Where's the log? Here it is. Here are all the things that I logged. I logged the things.
Perfect.
Brilliant. Fill another. So I'm going to try this from the beginning, and we'll see all of those things coming in the logs. Is there an easy way to clear the Ngrok? Clear. Found the clear button. Just really advanced technology going on here.
Yep. It's not blue, it's grey.
Everything's good. Right, so hold on. I'm going to put my phone on screen. What I meant to do was put it's got timestamps on the message. I was going to say, I meant to put something like time sensitive in the message so that we could see the new messages and tell them apart. But actually the WhatsApp app has that, so I'll be able to see it. So I'm going to send the message. Let's watch my phone. It wasn't, there it is. It wasn't instant last time. Oh, that's right, because we were waiting for something. So here's another hello from Varnish and Laravel. Winning combination. Coming in on my phone. That's nice. And in the app logs now, I should have a bunch of different things. Yeah, here we go. So there is submitted. That's what we had before. There's my message UUID, so you can sort of see it's DAD9. And then we get this, which is the same message ID with submitted. And if you look really closely at the timestamps, 3 seconds later, we get the same one. I'm just going to scroll. It might be disorientating. Okay. And we get delivered. And then actually in the same second, because I had the app open,
the red notification.
You get the red notification. But if I didn't have the app open and we did that again, we could do it like this. Do this. I'm so glad I don't have to type a message every time, because you know that cartoon about the commit messages, and eventually it's like my hands are typing words. I think I would have reached that stage by now.
Oh, sorry, I just mashed the keyboard into the desk at this point. It's like
yeah. So,
Hello 1, hello
yeah.
3.
So there's the message. It's hit my phone, but it's not read yet. So if we check the logs, we can see it's delivered, submitted, delivered. I'm going to put some blank lines in here. And then if we go over here and I open it, then back in the logs, we get the read receipt. So you get that real-time interaction, which I think is really neat.
Yeah, it's so useful. I mean, that difference between someone having seen a message and not having seen a message is to know about that is so useful when thinking about an application that you might build, because the idea that sending something is the end of a process for people is typically how a lot of people think, which isn't really the case. And you have the same kind of issue with email as well. It's like, it's been sent, so that's my job done. But especially in this type of communication, it's very much about having more of an understanding as to whether or not somebody actually did see what you told them. And that could be very valuable in tons of business cases. But even just in terms of, knowing that a piece of information that's valuable that you thought you needed to send to somebody has been noticed by that person. Did they think it was valuable? Did they do something afterwards? You can now have a lot more awareness of what that actually means just by using these status notifications that come back here.
Yeah, because if it doesn't even hit delivered, like, I'm probably on a plane.
Yeah.
My phone's off, or you haven't reached me. Maybe I am in a country where I don't have data. So the submitted means it's gone through to the WhatsApp servers, and then we get the delivered and the read from when the user gets those things. Awesome. So chat is super quiet today. I hope they're okay. I hope they'll tell us if they have questions. I hope they know that, hey chat, we love questions. The other webhook that we didn't do anything with was the incoming webhook. So I will take suggestions either from you, Martin, or from the chat what we should do with our incoming webhook. Shall I just send my hello from Vonage and Laravel with a smiley, or should we do something else with this?
Should we do some maths?
Steady on.
Here's the thing that could happen, right? Is you when you hit the button, right,
Yep.
with the number that you put in the form, it sends you a random number that's, say, between 1 and 100. Then you reply back with another number, say whatever, right? Any number of all of the numbers, and then it replies back again with that number multiplied by the number that you received.
Okay, so we need to figure out session storage in Laravel. And kind of join up and what's nice about this is it'll join up the different conversations, so multiple people could use it at the same time. Alex, I've never known you not want to interrupt. I'm going to put the what am I trying to say? The Ngrok URL into chat. So if you want to play along, if you whitelisted from the previous, if you are whitelisted, which I think at least one person is because I had 2 numbers before. I still can't remember if it's message or messages. Message. If you go there, you'll get the thing and it should send, but you're going to get it in whatever state it's in at the moment that you run your command. So, bear with us.
Yeah. And at certain points, it may be broken. So.
It will definitely be broken, and your phone number might be visible in my logs and in my Ngrok, so please be aware of that. If I see content that frightens me, then I guess we'll stop demoing, because that's how user-supplied data demos work. Also, if you are massively into this stuff, then I have another link for you, which I am going to find right now. As you can see, I have too many windows open. If you're massively into this stuff, then I want you to know about a scheme called Vonage Voyages. It's where we find. How did you get a 500 internal server error? I'm blaming Alex. I don't obviously know who's talking to it. I want to tell you about a scheme called Vonage Voyages. It's where people who love this stuff, want early access, want cool swag, should go. So there's the information about the voyages as well. I'm just going to go and look in Ngrok at that 500 internal server error. What did you send to it?
Yeah, let's understand more.
So I don't run my requests.
That took a really long time to execute as well.
It did.
Oh, okay. Somebody didn't send a number.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no validation on this. Yeah, no, absolutely none. It's a demo. Don't deploy this. Tell you what, I'm going to take this really seriously. And what we're going to do here, so seriously that I've done something to that window. Okay, right. I'm going to take this really seriously. And we're going to do validate incoming params. Okay, so if you're reading this and you want to use this code, then validate that. Mark says he missed it. It's fine, you just missed somebody sending nonsense data to my endpoint, which I always enjoy. Awesome. Right,
it's
so we're
okay,
going to do...
now there will be a validation step.
Yes.
So
it'll be obvious that you should put your code here. Alex is claiming it wasn't him. Well, we'll find out. Root... right, so I'm going to start registering my incredible maths thing. So this is webhooks. It's inbound message.
Inbound, yeah.
Inbound. And I'm going to need to get the data from it. So I'm going to declare the request thing here. Don't spend every day in Laravel. So constructive suggestions from chat are gratefully received. So somebody's going to send us just a number. So I'm just going to cast this to an integer and do something with it.
Yeah. Any number.
Okay.
It could be anything at all.
Well, I'm going to start with just doing the log step again because I want to inspect how that data looks, and then I'm going to iterate on that. So if that's fine, that's working. If I go back to my phone, in fact, hang on, let me unlock my phone without broadcasting my PIN number. I'm going to send a 7. Ready? Go.
Okay.
7 is sent. Let's check the logs. Not those logs. These logs. Okay.
7 is received.
Here it is. So I get this whole array here on the incoming. Just going to scroll up and look at that error. What did I not get? What's the Laravel? Always,
is that the 500 that blew up?
Always 60
before?
lines of stack trace. No, that one's a 403.
Ah.
Amazing. Oh yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's the result of the 500. I think it's just the next request. Okay. So I get a message UUID. That's the one for the incoming message. I get the number it came from. So that's my work number. It's a burner phone, so I'll just change it if something happens. That's the WhatsApp Sandbox number. So I'm interested in this message content type text. So it's the same format actually as we sent. That's easy, isn't it? Because it's just in the same screen. And I want to get text, and I'm gonna convert whatever I get to an integer, and if it looks like an integer, then we're gonna store it. I'm probably gonna have to look some stuff up, which is fine. That's how real programmers work, right?
Yeah.
So I think
actually,
yes.
What before you get to that step, can you change the initial message to "Hello from Vonage and Laravel. Please reply to message with a number."
Something like this?
Perfect.
All right. So that's to start the conversation. So people whitelist, they give us their number, we start the conversation, and then we're into sort of chatting backwards and forwards, right?
That's it.
Got it. So now, when I get an incoming message, then I'm going to grab the text out of this. So we think this is an array. So it's going to be data, message content.
Yeah.
Content. I'm just hoping Martin's reading the docs in the background.
Content.
Message content.
Text.
All right. And now I'm going to convert that into number by... No, my brain's completely empty. Stir. You can kind of just cast in PHP. No, have to Google it.
Like
that's hilarious.
Str to int.
Yeah, something like that. PHP stir to int, stir to something. Help me. Int val. No, I think that's...
No.
Yeah. I used to teach certification in PHP, so I literally could have told you all the arguments for all of the functions, for all of the built-in core language. And it's amazing what you forget when you don't use it all the time. Yeah, look, it's the brackets, it's that int cast.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, you put in brackets, it'll just do it.
Yeah, I was pretty relaxed about it. But I think it'll return a 0. Parse int, that's what I was trying... Oh, no, that's JavaScript. What? Yeah, I've just got absolute function name blindness because of using... Okay, get the integer value of a variable. Should not be used on objects. But you can use a scalar and it returns either an integer value or 0 on failure. Perfect. Let's do that. What was it called? Intval. I don't know what I did there. I just... Some sort of special vim command that got me to a completely different place in my file. Oh, I see. I've clicked the... Right. Intval. Yes. Okay. Cool. I do love the PHP manual with all its examples. It's really just... I'm sure other programming languages also have good stuff, and I do find good content around Go, but it's scattered. Whereas the PHP.NET, it's always there, and there's always examples, and then if you didn't quite get the function name correct, there is see also, which saves me really regularly. So, if the number is greater than 0, so it's got to be a number and not be 0, then we're going to do things and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm actually thinking in this case, do you even need to store the number? Because
well, otherwise how am I going to send them back?
Well, because now we can just multiply it by another number and send them back the result.
Okay. So would you like me to send...
But if you wanted to store it and then we do other things with that, that's fine. If there's time. Still got half an hour.
Yeah, let's keep it simple. I'm going to multiply all the numbers by 2. To start with?
Yes.
And I'm going to call it respond number. And it's going to be number multiplied by 2.
The 6 second delay in chat makes Alex irrelevant, apparently.
I'm alright with that. I mean, no, Alex, you're a very valued member of this community. And thank you for prompting me intval, because I don't think you were much behind when I found it. Awesome. I'm just going to copy and paste all this. We could look at refactoring. There's some stuff that would be the same for both, and some stuff that we would want to change. But I'm going to start by just dumping the whole thing into here. So that's the same. The WhatsApp number is going to come from the incoming data. So instead of being request input, it's going to be data from number.
Oh, that's...
You can look that up.
It is the top level object. Receiving a message. Yeah, from, and then number. Yes.
I've said my piece about the string concat. But it's currently, I guess I can just put a number here in PHP. It doesn't care. It'll just make it into a string.
Yeah.
Yep. This will be the auth. So the auth section will be the same. Everything else is going to be the same. We're sending a different message to a different chosen destination. Thank you for your delayed participation. Awesome. I feel sure enough about this that I would like to just give it a try.
Why not?
I can't think of a reason why not. That's exactly how this works. So, does anyone else want to give it a try? I'm not watching the logs, so anything could be going on, really. Let's get the phone. Here we go. Oh, I can control this from my keyboard. It's kind of neat. Oh. Not like that. Would have been quicker. Would have been better to type on the phone, I think. I'm going to send a 5 this time. I don't know whether to wait and see if something happens.
I'm just so full of expectation. I don't know what to do.
I feel like if it was coming back, it would have. So I'm gonna.
Something blew up, didn't it?
I think so. Let's go talk to Ngrok and see what came in and went out. Oh look, this gave me an internal server error. Oh, it's still running. Well. Yeah. Oh, that's. Yeah, Ngrok front end really struggling. Let's just check the real logs. Which are here. Oh, yeah, but they're Laravel logs, so a non-numeric value encountered.
Oh.
On line 67. Well, whatever. Just make it.
Laravel not enjoying int val.
Well, PHP's normally super open-minded about this. Maybe I didn't choose well. Yeah, so the 500 was in response to my message. I don't think we should have done int val. Let's have a quick look. Come here. Let's try the... Oh. Try the str val. Get the string value, get the float value. Find type juggling. Yeah, maybe I should have just cast it. I can't really remember how any of this works in PHP. I feel like I've definitely known this. Yeah, well, let's just cast it to an integer. Look, the casts allowed are... I'm going to have this one.
Yeah.
Why not? Where's my code? Here it is. Perfect. It's here, but the place it choked was on line 67.
Oh, so actually...
So it wasn't in val that choked. It was respond number. Let's log respond number. Let's log number and respond number. Because I think.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what it is?
Go for it.
I know what it is.
What is it?
Oh,
I
you
can't
concatenated
concatenate
with a plus.
After mocking the concat, I still can't concat. I thought it might help me remember, but it didn't. All right, let's give that another whirl then. Ready?
I don't know. This is the most logical concat to me. Has always been a plus. So sorry, PHP.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry too. Hey, there we go. Would have been a bit too slick if it had done that the first time, though, right? So.
It would have felt staged. So.
Well, I feel like I could have practiced, but thinking about the difference between the types between different programming languages, and thinking about like how do we debug that? Where would we look? I like that part. Kind of makes my brain think.
That's it. It's where the learning comes from. Yeah, it's, if it works every time, there's nothing to show people, right? It's just here's a bunch of stuff that works really well, and then when it doesn't for you, it's like, oh well.
Yeah, no. If it works well every time, then you're not a real software developer. That's my story.
No, that's right. This is how it really is. Looking in docs, concatenating weirdly.
Failing to concatenate in my case. In my mother tongue. Because I was claiming my PHP is 15 years ahead of all the other languages, but I'm not sure that's true now. I think it's losing ground because I don't use it that often. It's
the more we send you down a Go rabbit hole, I think that's That's where it happens.
I was doing a little bit of Go on the stream last time. I was halfway through something not completely unrelated, but only loosely related. And someone in the chat was like, "Is it you that generates the code? Can you show me?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we got into this whole like generated Go SDK code. It was fun. But I'm not about to build this again for you in Go today. But it'd be fun to do this or something like it in the future. Shall we try and... Does it make sense to try and add some storage here? How would that work?
I mean, yeah, you could store the number that they send. I mean, even storage wouldn't even be necessary in this particular instance, though, because it's running through just one loop to do all this. But if it was going to go through and do another message now, it would need to know about the number. So if we stored the number, we could send a message back at this point and say that your last number was whatever. Would you like to multiply it by 3? Yes or no?
And then do stuff with it. Yeah, no, I think that's really nice. One thing I like about Laravel is I used the Composer Create project for this, and it really did generate something that was already working on port 8000, and I just went and copied its template and edited that. So, you know, the idea that you can add different stuff in is really cool. Lauren's asking if we can do Go next time. Go all the time. I wish. So it would make more... I would be better at this in Go, genuinely. I haven't done Laravel for ages, though, so I just thought it was worth having it. I think showing that two-way messaging of having messages coming in and us responding back. Sometimes you'll want to log that message or just like store the user's communication and do something later. But showing how to reply and access the data that comes in, I think is really valuable. I love this stuff. I do it all the time. I really enjoy seeing the read receipts as well.
Yeah. Okay, so let's add some numbers up.
Okay.
So then next is, I guess, if you add on to, the answer is respond number, and then say, you can put a full stop after the answer is.
Here? Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Excuse me with my concat issue. I can't unsee it now.
I know, but that's my fault because I made you concatenate a full stop in there, which is enough to just destroy.
Just in case I wasn't confused.
Yeah. So and then after that, we can ask, or we can say, we multiplied your number by 2. Would you like to multiply it by 3? Yes or no? Because then we can accept a different type of response as well.
Notify? Multiply? Gosh, I may need more coffee. By 3. Okay, so how am I going to tie this together when the user responds to me?
In this instance, like, it's not the most robust way of doing it, but here, if you are asking for a yes or a no, and in the other first message it's asking for a number, just differentiating between the message content text being a number and or
no,
yes,
I don't mean
no.
that. I mean when this amazing new cool application goes viral and lots of people message it at once, and somebody sends me an 8 and someone sends me a 12, and somebody says yes and somebody says no, like I need to join those things up.
Yes. So do you need to store?
We need some sort of storage. We do need some
kind of storage.
File storage?
Uh, uh, does it? Does Laravel have anything like a simple
I'm probably running
uh,
Redis.
key value store of some
Oh,
kind?
oh, that was exciting. I'm not exactly sure what I did, but anyway.
But now you're back.
I think I undid it. That was exciting. I think Laravel has some sort of Redis support. I'm not sure how built in it is actually. Laravel. I'm probably running Redis. I can't type. Wow. Showing results for Laravel Redis. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Google.
It's okay. Google knew. Google knew.
It was all fine. This is already more words than I was expecting to read.
Yeah, that's like a whole. Is that? Does that need to be set up? Probably does.
Yeah, probably does.
That's probably more than we have time to do.
Probably.
So
I think we should just do a more interesting response.
let's do a more interesting response.
I wonder if there's an API for silly bingo names. You know, when like some of them have those catchphrases. So if you chose, I'm completely now drawing a blank.
Yeah, like Two Little Ducks, 22.
Yes, like is there an official source on that? I would love to have like a lookup.
I'm looking.
All right, Martin's on the case. Mark is saying Laravel and Redis. Yeah, I have Redis installed, but these instructions seem like I'd expect to just write to it. I mean, I think maybe I'm overthinking this, and the right thing to do is to just use Redis. Redis has been abandoned. Really? Because it seems pretty straightforward to me.
Maybe that's why they abandoned it. They just thought it can live on its own.
And Redis must be incredibly widely used with PHP. Those seem like two fairly scalable things that I would expect to see together. There's probably a reason. I wonder if it's been like supplanted or something with it. But yeah, this is way too verbose. I don't want to read this much docs to just store something.
Yes. Bingo API. The Rapid API has a bingo thing, but the page is taking forever to load.
That doesn't bode well for the API, does it?
No.
You sort of wonder, like, oh.
Popularity 0.2. Okay.
Maybe not then. I'm going to multiply by a random number and include in the response what random number it was, while we see if we get any better suggestions.
That'll work.
It'll entertain me, which is key.
In the 10 or so minutes that are remaining, it's
I can't remember how this works in PHP. This is like, I'm definitely doing Go next week. Lauren asked if we could do Go next week. We're definitely doing Go next week. It's not next week, it's next episode. So next episode is in 2 weeks, and in the next episode I am going to do some verify API stuff, which is our 2FA tool. I'm going to show you some verify stuff, I'm going to show you some payment stuff, and I hereby pledge to show you some Go stuff along with that. How does that sound?
That sounds fantastic.
Brilliant.
Go on the stream more often.
Well, and I think I'd be better at it. This PHP thing is like, I can't. It blows me away. I think because I think I should know. It is rand min max. Okay, so min. Come on, max. I don't want huge numbers. I'm going with 8, not for any good reason. And is that an integer by default? Generate a random integer. Okay, yes. Cool. There's definitely some other stuff where you get between 0 and 1 and multiply, but this seems like it's the friendly integer helper version. And then I'm gonna We multiplied your number by... Let's see. Here comes the next concatenation challenge. Random. Brilliant. And I don't want any of this other stuff because I don't want to get into a long-winded
No, we don't need to give people that option anymore. You know what? No one gets to multiply their number by 3. Fine.
Well, you just need to keep... I mean, it's a random number between 1 and 8. So if you just keep trying, then you'll get 3 eventually. You know, it might take me a few goes, but I could persevere. So let's check out the phone view. I'm going to start sending some bigger numbers now. I feel like the time for being conservative is over.
If you wanted to play a fun game as well in the future, you could remove the line that says what number it was, and then you could just guess which number. If you knew it was
you'd have to be able to do the multiplication. That didn't come back to me, so I've broken something. Or I need to be more patient. Let's check the logs. Alex is saying, how about doing some JavaScript next? Hey Alex, I'm sorry, I've already made premises for some Go next. So your JavaScript will have to wait. Actually, it is a little while since I did JavaScript on the stream, so you are not wrong, and I should probably bring you some. Error messages resulted in a 500 internal server error response. You want to tell me anything else about that, or just... You sent nonsense?
Nope.
Oh, maybe I sent... I guess I can't debug what I sent. That's not how this works. Resulted in a 500 response. So I sent... but I might have status stuff. Which, although it should be here, but let's have a quick look at Ngrok, just in case there is more information here.
Yep.
No, it's another one of those. It's this... I tell you why the 500 responses are huge. And it's because it's because it's a Laravel app, so it gives you that whole rich HTML mad error response in the body, and Ngrok gets stressed. I'm actually just going to clear my request history to try and rescue, or you can stop and start Ngrok. It's one of the most difficult things about working with a very heavy full stack framework. Is sometimes the helper output is not that helpful. However, I have a 500 error and I don't know why. So we just need to have a look. This might be an invalid string. Something.
Oh yeah, because it. No, it's not. Oh, it's random and reserved word. It's not, is it?
I don't think so. And that's why we have the dollar sign. Anyway, so we can tell what's a variable. I know it doesn't seem very forward thinking, but it's genuinely fine. I'm gonna just grab this out of here. Let's try and make this simpler. And let's log some values up here. First, let's check that we got log. Let's check that we got this. And then let's do that for those other numbers as well. Because I think it's if it errors, I don't know if we'll actually get this output or not. And I can't open the debug output that it's trying to show me in the browser because I didn't request it from the browser. And Ngrok can't render it because it's too large. Respond number. Random. I love that you've asked Alex what JavaScript would you like to see. It's like he's just going to present me with some kind of challenge. I feel like you've set me up for something here.
No,
it's unnecessary.
Just merely curious.
I'm just dithering over what I want to send. I'm going to send 4 and see if I've debugged myself enough to get some response. Don't feel like it did. Express with TypeScript. You could probably have some Express. Mark, I feel like this would be a fun thing to build in Express or something similar. And if you haven't already seen the articles that my colleague Garen posted, then that would be a really good place to look if you're interested in doing Express and WhatsApp or any of the Messages API stuff, because she put out some good content for us on that. Yeah, still probably the best backend combo for JavaScript. Yeah, and I don't mind Express. Like, it's quite heavy, but it's not ridiculous.
I feel pressured into doing more TypeScript sometimes.
Well, then you can come on the stream and do some, because I feel like you've got me into this situation, and now Alex is asking for something I've never heard of, because that clearly says Clojure script. And I don't know what that is.
All suggestions will be taken under advisement.
Oh, this time I've got a syntax error. That's okay, I understand those. Unexpected if
Okay.
on line 60. Okay, this is totally on my level. Oh, that's because I've added. Oh, this is the language with the semicolons. It is. This is the language with the semicolons. All right, let's add some empty lines in the log so I can tell where this was, and send through again. Dino would be awesome.
Yeah,
I haven't.
there it is.
Yes, it responded. So I don't know what I did wrong there, because it seems fine now. I'm going to check the logs and see if all those intermediate values look okay, and if they are, I'm going to put the rest of the message back together. And then I
think it was just merely a semicolon.
An 8, a 6, and a 48. Well, no, the semicolon was on the logging. It's a Heisenberg. Because it wasn't there, and then I had a 500 and I added logging, and then I didn't have a 500 anymore. I had a syntax error. So I don't know. But I did also simplify this message. We multiplied by, with a dot for concatenation. This variable is called a random, and we'll just dot with the dot, because I heard you like to dot with your dot. Anyway.
Put some dots in the dots.
I do like a dot. Oh, Lauren's just shared the link. Thank you, Lauren. Yes, exactly that post from Garen that Lauren's just putting in chat. That's a good one to look at for using this kind of stuff from JavaScript. Oh, I'm going to challenge with a bigger number. How about 13? Goodness knows what we're going to multiply that with, but that's why we have computers, right? And it came back. I was just on the wrong screen. The answer is 78. We multiplied by 6. Woo!
Yay!
All right, so that's coming together pretty well.
It lives.
It does, and I think what I will do here is I will put this on a branch and push it up. So if you want to have a play, this will be on GitHub probably tomorrow. And pull requests always welcome. This was a neglected Laravel 5 app, but I think it's quite fun. We've got some updates coming to our Laravel integration, so if you are doing Vonage with Laravel stuff, then stay in touch, tweet at us, open issues for us, because we have work to do. There's a new PHP SDK version landing, so that'll knock onto the Laravel stuff as well. What else do I need to say? You've seen the sign up link. Get the coupon code. I've told you about Voyagers. I've promised you Verify API with some Go and potentially some JavaScript for next week. As always, it was a pleasure to have everyone's company. Martin, I hope you enjoyed your stream. This was good. You are definitely getting to be a co-host again.
Oh, thank you.
This was, apart from the concatenation hilarity, I feel like this worked out all right. Is there anything else that we need to cover?
No, I don't think so. If you do want to sign up, then obviously coupon code is there on the screen. I might not be pointing at it by doing this.
You're pretty close, actually, yeah.
It's there, sort of. Okay. Use that to grab some extra credit for your accounts. And yeah, everything else has been done. You talked about it all.
Perfect. So talk to us on GitHub, talk to us on Twitter, join our community Slack if you want to. And next week you can join and see the low code hour, which will be approximately in this slot, but an hour later because we're an hour earlier. And then I will be back in 2 weeks with some 2-factor authentication and some other good things. I'll see you then.